more. And again, here on the 11 Sports Network, alongside Charles Doherty, I'm Cameron Irvine. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, all at Simulation FL. Our hashtag is Make an Impact, and we love it when we see viewers turn into players and make an impact on the field. 2nd and 6 at the 26-yard line. About halfway through the first quarter here as Nickens will drop to throw. Nickens in some trouble. He backs away from it and then takes a big hit. An 8-yard loss. The pressure up front by Jeff Duffy, who's off to a tremendous start this season.
Yeah, Jeff Duffy and Kyrie Hassan are bookends on the defensive end side of Queen City. Both of them have, well, one has 3 now, but coming into the game, both had 2 sacks, and they're the type of defensive ends that can really change the outcome of a game.
So 3rd and 11, 3 plays ago. Now it's 3rd and 14 at the 18-yard line. What will they pull out in their bag of tricks here? Ran on 3rd and 11 for the first down earlier in the possession. Nickens going to throw, and he's taking a 7-step drop back, going long down the field. The pass is way underthrown and incomplete. Swatted away by Avery King, who's in his 7th SFL season, and Oklahoma City's drive stalls out pretty quickly.
Yeah, it looks like the receiver was behind the defense on this play, and if Nickens would have lofted a little higher, he would have had a wide receiver that probably could have taken it to the house.
So the Renegades will punt it away, and Queen City should end up with some decent field position after this punt. And a short commercial break. We'll get into some of the ins and outs of the SFL, but for now, 6:01 to go in the first quarter. The Renegades and Corsairs are stalled at 0, and we'll be right back to Robbers Cave in a moment. Back here on 11 Sports, the Simulation Football League celebrating its 13th season, and this actually is game 1005. Charles and I celebrated the league's 1000th game at the Atlanta Convention just last week. Caswell will start the second drive of the night for the Corsairs with an incomplete pass, wanting a pass interference. And I got to say, Charles, I'm pretty impressed so far with Oklahoma City's defense. They're, especially in the passing game, they look a lot better covering routes over the middle of the field.
Yeah, quite honestly, I'm surprised that Queen City's been throwing it as much as they have, especially against the Oklahoma City secondary. They are ball hawks. They've got both the safeties have 2 interceptions apiece, and their cornerbacks have interception apiece, and that's only in 2 games.
Yeah, Caswell and this Corsair offense looking to take maybe more of an air raid approach than they have in the past. Ash Odom moving on to Chicago in free agency. 4 down linemen for Oklahoma City. That's how many they rush, and they get to Caswell in the backfield. A loss of 7, and that wrap-up made by Matt Stratton, and it'll bring up 3rd and long, and both defenses are eating early.
One of the things that Queen City needs to work on is the protection of the quarterback. Their quarterback gets sacked a lot. They average about 4 sacks against per game, so the offensive line is really going to have to step up, especially when there's a 4-man rush like on that last play.
3rd and 17, 2 receivers to the right of Caswell. Everybody's going deep. Caswell's going long. The pass is tipped up in the air and incomplete. What a play down the field by Thomasina Rahman. Girl power tonight for Oklahoma City. Rahman and Finch are everywhere, and another forced 4th down by this Renegade defense.
Yeah, as of now, it seems that Oklahoma City has their number and is expecting the pass, and they're almost like a step ahead of them.
So an excellent start for Oklahoma City here. By the way, how can you join the SFL? Visit the website at simulationfl.net. Click the Discord icon to receive an invite to our community, and from there, you're off and running, and you can be like all these players on the field tonight. And Charles, I was listening back to the original documentary today, and the great Deacon Nickens, actually, who's on the field right now, said, man, that guy should be on TV. Well, hey, look, Ma, I made it. Welcome into SFL HQ here from the Metroplex in Texas. Charles is just off camera over there. He's a little shy. There he is. Yeah, right here in SFL headquarters, as SFL Nation calls it. The Cam is back here for television. And who knows, maybe by popular demand it will continue, or maybe that will be the only time my face for radio makes an appearance tonight. You can tell us in the chat if you want to participate. The chat room is live right now on the Twitch channel of 11 Sports at twitch.tv/11 Sports Next.
Cam, that mug of yours is going to bring people in from all over.
2nd and 8, Oklahoma City on a free play, and it's dropped. Oh, that could have been a touchdown. Bovine, the savvy veteran who's breaking all kinds of records in his whopping 11th SFL season, nearly had a score, but the Renegades will take the 5.
Definitely. Yeah, it was in his hands. That was definitely not like Bovine to miss that pass, but they're going to have another shot at it.
Wow, this is, I did not expect this, I got to say, Charles, coming in. I thought we might see some offense open up here tonight, but it's the story right now has really been the Renegades controlling a little bit more of a tempo game. They've got a couple of great backs in the backfield. They want to try to control the pace of the game. That got away from them against Chicago in their Week 2 matchup. They've done a much better job here in the first quarter tonight. Nickens back to throw. Nickens in some trouble. Lofts one, and that one nearly taken away. Achilles Frank making the play, and that's the second time we've seen a ball floated into traffic dangerously.
Well, he's a hawk when it comes to tracking the ball. Did you see his closing speed on that play? I actually thought the wide receiver was going to catch that for a first down, and out of nowhere came Frank and just blew up the play. Great defense.
3rd and 3 at the 34. Another third down for Oklahoma City. They're 1 for 2 so far tonight. They've got a couple of drives and 3 first downs. The handoff goes right up the gut to Williams, and Williams, as they call him, having a really nice first quarter here for OKC, now up over 30 yards.
Yeah, I like the game plan. The more you use Williams, I think the better off from an offensive standpoint. He's showing what he did last year and previous years in the Simulation Football League.
So as Oklahoma City nears midfield on one of their best drives of the night, there you see Bovine wearing those military green elbow pads, a very militaristic culture in this Renegade squad. 2 backs and 2 receivers as Nickens will fire a corner route, caught over the defense, past the 30 down to the 28-yard line for a first down for Oklahoma City. Pass caught by Ermac Jackson, who got a big pay bump in the offseason, coming over to Oklahoma City as their top receiver.
Yeah, Ermac Jackson was pretty wide open on that pass. He's the number 1 target for Deacon Nickens so far. And that's surprising when you got the likes of Duncan and Bovine.
Williams 33 yards on 4 carries here in the first quarter. 3:40 to go. Nickens to throw. Nickens fires it short and almost threw it away. Gift wrapped it for Tim Jacoby. And Jacoby, even though he's excited that he touched the ball, you're supposed to put that ball in your hands and take it the other way, partner.
Yeah, you have to make the best out of any opportunity, and that was right for him on a silver platter. But, Jason Williams is averaging 8 yards per carry, so I'm hoping they bring him back.
2nd and 10, 3:37 to go in the first quarter. 2 backs, 2 receivers. In fact, I think Bovine may be off the line. Toss play out to where the offsides came from, and I think Queen City was trying to anticipate that play. They ran right into it, but it might have been Pharaoh Reigns on the jump. Actually, I think it was a defensive lineman. Yeah, they're going to credit number 53, Jeff Duffy, with a rare mistake.
Yeah, rare mistake. He's a 4-year veteran. That's not the normal action for him.
Hey, shout-outs. Brown Knight, stressful, never satisfied, 1, 2, 3. Tom Rahman in the chat. Vancouver Legion in the chat. Tom Pepper is here as well. The Legion will be getting going tomorrow, and you'll get to see Tom Pepper live on air. Look at this run. Right up the gut for a first down to the 13-yard line. DJ Moses with the first down, all by himself, right up the middle of the field.
You know, I think what Oklahoma City has is similar to what Alaska had last year in the 1-2 punch in the backfield. If they use both of those guys, they're going to make it very hard for the defending coaches to come up with a game plan.
That was a great block by Dalton Otto at center, one of the more undersized centers in the league, but he moved that Mount Queen City, rather, was trying to anticipate that play. They ran right into it, but it might have been right in between the hash marks. Now in the red zone, 1st and 10 at the 13. Nickens, all kinds of time, checks it out to Williams. Williams with a partial head of steam, picks up 4 inside the 10, down to the 9-yard line.
Yeah, I'm thinking if Nickens would have got rid of that ball to Williams sooner, he would have had much greater gain there. He didn't have anyone around him, but it shows the speed of the Corsairs defense, how quick they got to that running back.
2:12 to go. This is a blood-sucking drive out of Oklahoma City's offense. 3 receivers, Nickens to pass. Nickens fires it out short and running right into a defender. Surprised he didn't drop it. Pharaoh Raines was first to Moses the second. He got some help, did Raines, from Jacoby to force another 3rd and 5. They are 2 for 3 on 3rd down so far.
Yeah, I think right now we should be in bovine territory. I mean, he is money when you throw him the ball, especially when you're down near the goal line. So let's see if he gets targeted here.
That's a great call.
For the defending coaches to come up with a game plan.
That was a great block by Dalton Otto. He's been a little quiet so far tonight. I believe he's there to the left of Nickens with split backs in the back. They're going to run it on 3rd and 5, and hitting the side of his face was, again, number 57, Tim Jacoby. Williams got sideswiped on his way to what he thought was going to be a first down, and Queen City's going to hold him to 3.
Well, you know, you may walk off the field thinking that you didn't succeed here, but I think they have a pretty good game plan. I like what Oklahoma City's doing. They do hopefully here they'll walk away with some points, but I like the conservative, balanced approach that they're taking.
It's a 22-yard field goal, and the chip shot's up and good, and that takes us to a quick break. You're watching the Simulation Football League on 11 Sports, and Oklahoma City has a 3-0 lead on the Corsairs. We're back in a moment. Back to Robbers Cave in Oklahoma City. The Renegades get the first points of the night here, 3-0 on top of the Queen City Corsairs. And from the 6-yard line, Queen City on the return, and will set up shop for Caswell at the 28-yard line. So how do you build a player in the SFL, right? You join the Discord, you say, oh man, I can't wait to get on the field and be a quarterback or be a safety or score some touchdowns, right? So how do you build a player? Well, you get first you get picked up on the wire by teams that have available positions open. They'll post those throughout the week, and then it's all about getting better, right, Charles? You've been down that road plenty of times. We'd love to hear your story here on the air after Willis takes this handoff for 7. So you had an interesting journey. You got picked up as an undrafted free agent. Then you said, you know what? I want to do something different with my career. I'm going to be a running back. And I'm just going to throw it all away and start over, and you got drafted.
Oh, definitely. It was a great experience. I liked being the undrafted free agent because I wanted to jump in right away and learn more about the league. But as I learned more about it, I learned that maybe I wanted to be on a different side of the ball and got the opportunity to retire and start over as a rookie running back.
And handoff to
that was
Jared.
2 handoffs in a row, I believe.
That's right. I was going to say, I'm trying to figure out when I saw that tonight from Queen City, and when we haven't. Willis, in his 3rd season, spent his first 2 seasons with Chicago, and Queen City still they don't change very often, and Ash Odom was a staple here, and they're still trying to figure out how to get Willis involved in the offense. No figuring out if Curtis needs to be involved in the offense. That ends the first quarter. Chris Curtis is on fire. 3-0 Oklahoma City. We're back to Robbers Cave after these messages. You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music on 11 Sports. The Simulation Football League, presented by APM Music on 11 Sports, is brought to you in part by APM Music, Production Music Library, and Custom Music House, and also brought to you in part by Fuel, Beyond the Imagination. Visit the all-new SFL Interactive at sflinteractive.net. Today, by Matt Doyle Designs, the official branding partner of the SFL, and by Media Tech Institute. Turn your passion into your profession. Aerial footage brought to you by Air Views, and there are some wonderful drone enthusiasts across the beautiful plains there of Oklahoma getting things done, and we're getting things done here at the end of the first quarter. 3-0 Oklahoma City. Queen City, though, on the move at the Renegade 47-yard line alongside Charles Doherty. I'm Cameron Irvine here for Sunday night in prime time. Caswell, deep ball is tipped up in the air and almost one-handed intercepted by Joshua Dewar. That is his best play, and actually it might have been Clark deep down the field for the incompletion.
Yeah, it looks like Clark broke that up, but so far Caswell's been throwing primarily to Curtis. Out of out of 8 attempts, 6 of them have gone to Curtis. So they may need to start thinking about mixing it up a bit.
Stephen Hacker doing our live stats tonight. Caswell's 4 of 8 for 35 yards through 11 minutes, and now he's 5 of 9. Pass caught. What a hit on the sideline into Queen City's bench. That pass caught by Hacker. Hacker a bit quiet in the first half, and it's probably because he's been keeping track of all these stats. You can get involved in so many ways in the SFL will make your head spin.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Mr. Hacker, for doing stats. You're doing a great job. We're relying on you heavily here.
Curtis, 4 receptions for 48 yards. That's a pretty nice day, let alone a first quarter. Caswell out of the eye will drop it off to Willis out of the backfield. Dangerous to being a backwards pass and a carry. Willis going to pick up 3 as John Gregory came over to make the stop, and the Renegades hiring John Gregory over as their general manager in the offseason, and he really acquired some great talent with Jason Williams and Ermac Jackson and company on this Renegades roster. 2nd and 7 at the 32. Out of the eye for Caswell. He'll hand it off to Willis, and Willis in some trouble, going to go down for a loss of 1. Another stop in the backfield for the Renegades. That's Clark.
Yeah, I believe John Gregory broke through the offensive line to disrupt that running play. It didn't have a lot going for it from the start. Gregory was able to get by the blocker and just wreak havoc back there in the backfield.
So this is sketchy time for Queen City. 1 for 3 on third downs. They have 6 first downs here so far tonight, but they're right on the fringe of field goal range. Caswell can't take a sack. He will dump it off. Willis has all sorts of room. Will drag a defender past the sticks for the first down on the 25-yard line before Drury cleans up the play. What a nice play by Willis in the open field.
Yeah, it shows a lot of effort there. I didn't think he was going to get the first down, especially when the second and third defender came in, but he showed a lot of strength and was able to muscle his way past the chains.
Doerr's going to have to hit the weight room after letting Willis slip away there. Willis and Queen City dressed in the bright green pants, the black trim. 2nd and 7 at the 32. Out of the eye for Caswell. He'll hand it off to Willis, and Willis trimmed down the side, the solid black helmets. Renegades in their traditional red, blue, and red look as that pass complete for a 4-yard pickup. The Renegades wearing that golden yellow trim.
I thought we had an injury there.
Yeah, Hacker was slow to get up.
I'm a little gun shy from last week.
Oh yeah, I tell you, we had for those that are new to the SFL, we had a player live on location while we were calling the 1,000th game go down on the very first play of the game, and he got to mimic his player live. It was unbelievable as Caswell's pass is caught. The trajectory of that football, a thing of beauty. Caswell now 8 of 12 for 81 yards, and that's Curtis's 5th grab.
Yeah, that was put perfectly, right in the bread box. And if he did that probably 10 times, I'm sure he'd get it in there 10 times. The guy's got a great arm, and he showed it on that play.
Wonder what it's like to own a bread box. Doerr's going to have to hit the weight room after letting Willis slip away there. I've never owned.
You don't?
I've never owned a bread box.
You sure? Should I go check?
It's definitely not in here. Hand off to Willis as Willis picks up a couple. Charles Doherty, Cameron Irvine with you. Sunday night prime time here on 11 Sports, and we are the newest partner of 11 Sports, and we could not be more happy and thankful to be here. Shout out to everyone out there watching right now.
Yeah, I'm interested to see if they try targeting Matthew here. He's been the go-to target for Caswell to date, but he's only been targeted once so far today.
2nd and 8. Hand off to Willis. He is stopped nearly immediately. And the big fella up front, number 90, Deacon Payne, making it happen. Lots of Deacons on this team. 3rd and 10.
Yeah, they were running in there like somebody said there was free food in the locker room. They just blew through there, and he wasn't going anywhere.
Alex Dominguez somewhere on another plane. Free food? 3 receivers. Willis in the backfield. The first third along of the night for Queen City. Caswell's got time. It's dropped and bobbled to the end zone. He almost caught it. I thought he caught it. Charles, oh my goodness, what a missed opportunity by Davos Sanchez. Look at this again.
Yeah, the non-contract player, 6'5", 220. I thought he had it. That's one of those things that could come back and haunt them. But fortunate for them, it wasn't picked up by Oklahoma City.
I tell you what, John Gregory may have saved a touchdown. He recognized that since the ball was tipped, everybody was fair game, and he came over and crushed Sanchez pretty good. Sanchez, a 6'5", 220 skinny kid out there, had an opportunity to give Queen City the lead, but we are still in a defensive slugfest here. I love it. 29-yarder for the Corsairs to tie the ball game, and that kick is up and good, and we're all squared at 3.
Yeah, this is quite a game. I thought it was going to be close coming in, and I'm a little shocked we haven't seen a touchdown yet, but I've got a feeling here as we get into the second half, we're going to see some points.
Oh, we have seen some crazy games. Remember, that was the Carolina-Vancouver game that at the half we were sitting around going, Lee, is anybody going to stop throwing interceptions? And then the second half was just an explosion of offense. That was that was a fun game for sure, as Matthews will kick it away. Queen City wearing, as mentioned at the top of the broadcast, their season 6 throwbacks. That was 3.5 years ago they won their last title, and they actually have more titles than any other SFL team. They won 4 in their first season. 8, by the way. I stand corrected. 4 of the first 8 championships belong to the boys in black and green.
Yeah, were they the Knights at the time, or?
Yeah, they won 2 with the New York Knights, seasons 1 and 3, and then they won 2 more as the Corsairs, seasons 6 and 8, I believe. 2 in the backfield, 2 out wide. That's Williams catching a pass for 5, and Oklahoma City continues to be very consistent in their offensive approach.
Yeah, it looks like they're starting to mix it up a little bit. Still waiting for a pass to Bovine. I think he's going to cause some damage when he gets thrown to, but so far, so good.
A quiet night so far for Devonta Duncan. Haven't talked about him yet. Rookie last year, 6'2", 205, back with the Renegades for his second season. This handoff to Moses goes nowhere. Corsairs shut that down quickly, and that's yet another tackle for Tim Jacoby.
Yeah, they saw that coming. I think they're going to need to mix it up a little bit more from a medium range. I haven't seen a lot from a medium pass range for Oklahoma City.
Williams, 34 yards on 5 carries. Moses, 11 yards on 3 carries. Willis, just 4 yards on 6 carries. What a catch, but it's short of the first down. Climbing up the invisible ladder was Moses, the second out of the backfield, and I didn't get a chance to see who made that play. My guess is that it was King right up in the middle, and they force a punt.
Yeah, they did. Great defense there, and they get the ball back, and hopefully they can drive as well as they did last time and hopefully get it in the end zone this time.
The Battle of the Cities, Oklahoma and Queen. By the way, Queen City in Buffalo. Lots of cities, surprisingly, claiming Queen City as the nickname. There's plenty of infighting there, but the Corsairs will start from the 28-yard line, and we'll take a quick break and get back to Oklahoma City and this deadlocked action in a moment. You're watching the SFL on 11 Sports.
Coming. I think they're going to need to mix it up a little bit more from a medium range. I haven't seen a lot from them.
.5:23 left in the second quarter. Simulation Football League presented by APM Music. Action all squared at 3 between 2 classic franchises. Caswell going long past midfield to the Renegade 43-yard line. Curtis is chomping, eating down the field.
Well, there's a reason they're throwing it to him. The guy is money every time you throw it to him. That was a difficult pass there, right in between 2 defenders. Great hands and a wonderful pass by the quarterback.
What a ball. Clark and company save a potential touchdown by making that tackle in the open field. That's the longest play of the night for Caswell, as we'll get hit. That should put him over 100 yards here in the first half. Oklahoma City on their heels just a bit. They got 7 in the box right now, and everybody's on the screen defensively. Caswell going to loft one down the middle. It's caught at the 22-yard line, and that's James Matthew Jr. I've seen some of him, man, in the game a couple of weeks ago against Charleston. He was lethal.
He's a large specimen. He's in the Big Tall Club along with Mike Daggs and Yassine Clifton at 6'7", 265. It's a nightmare for a cornerback or a safety or a linebacker to cover.
I think Clark was trying to make a play on the interception, then he literally got walled off by Matthew Jr. down the field. Queen City is knocking on the door. Caswell over the middle. Caught. That is Matthew Jr. again. A 13-yard pickup down to the 9 for first and goal.
An interesting thing to watch.
What a ball. Clark and company save a potential touchdown by making that tackle in the open.
Here, Cam, is the receivers and tight end for Corsair are very much taller than the secondary for Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City's around 6'1", 6'2", and the wide receivers are 6'5", and Matthews 6'7".
Two receivers off the right side of Caswell with Willis kind of sidecar left. 3:53 to go. He'll take the handoff up the middle. Got a great block to pick up a few yards. Good job down the field by guard Corey Nails. He, without that block, Willis probably got nothing.
Yeah, that was a good block, and also, although it didn't, light up the scoreboard, the run, it took a little pressure off the offense so they can stick to their passing plan.
These two 1-1 teams here early in the season definitely want this win to take momentum into next week. Caswell going to throw wide open as Willis, but he's got to get there. Turns the corner and scores. First touchdown of the night belongs to Willis in Queen City, and they're up by 6.
It took a while for it to develop. I didn't think he was going to have the speed to get into that end zone, but he put it in 7th gear and blew all the way into the end zone.
7th gear? How many gears does one?
Most people only have 5.
Oh. It really?
Willis has 7.
What? Am I missing the expression of 5th gear? Is there like a, or am I just going?
Car. When you put it in 5th gear.
Yeah.
It goes fast.
Aren't there more than? I don't know. I'm not a car person. See, this is what happens when you get me talking about something that's not about football. It starts to get clammy.
Clammy.
Extra point is good. Somebody in my ear is yelling, "Stick to the script! Stick to the script!" as the Corsairs have a touchdown. It's 10-3. We certainly are the SFL encyclopedias of history here on this broadcast crew here from SFL headquarters in the Metroplex of Texas. I'm Cameron Irvine. He's Charles Doherty, and he likes to spy on the camera whenever he feels like it.
Yeah, look, my big head.
It's past the 20, up to the 28-yard line. Nicely done there by the returner. That's Ashley Finch, who's actually returning punts and kicks for the first time this season, and maybe even the first time in her career. But we'll have to get the true historians on that one.
Yeah, so Oklahoma City's down by a touchdown. No time to panic. If they stick to their game plan, I think they'll continue to hang into this game.
2 backs and 2 receivers for Nickens. Nickens going to throw. Going to try to get aggressive. I don't know. Oh, they called a fumble. The ball is loose and picked up at the 19-yard line. And what do you know? It's Tim Jacoby on the recovery, and I'm not so sure this was a fumble. First off, I can't even believe he got out of the sack.
Yeah, that was amazing, but I thought I saw his arm going forward when he threw it down.
That definitely looks like a challengeable play to me. If I was Oklahoma City and head coach Michael Irvine, let's see what they're going to decide to do. There's the challenge. First challenge flag of the night. And R62, as we know him in the SFL landscape, we kind of like to have fun with him. He sometimes has a bit of difficulties with some calls, and so we don't call him by an actual name because he's not worthy of it. That looks definitely like a forward pass, Charles. I don't know how you can call that anything else.
Yeah, let's hope the coach on top starts clapping because that's how we see it up here in the booth.
And there you have it. So Oklahoma City 1 for 1 on challenges. Hey, chat shout-outs. We got it all going on here tonight. We've got the live chat going in Twitch. This is on the SFL, or I'm sorry, the 11 Sports Twitch channel. You could see Steven at Large, who is a coach for Mexico City, Average Joker, Ram Voice, who plays for Vancouver. Tom Pepper is in the house, another Vancouver player. Reagan Yola is here, and many others. So happy to have everyone here in the chat. Look at Williams get away and pick up 8 yards on the play. 43 yards in the first half will set up a more manageable third down. Their 6th of the night.
Yeah, this is quickly becoming a welcome back party for Jason Williams. He had a great spin off that line. Queen City was anticipating the run. They had a bunch of guys up there, and he was able to break through.
Tom Pepper informing us in the chat room. See, the chat is a great resource, that it is her first time returning punts and kicks, that being Ashley Rose Finch. And did you know Ashley Rose and Tom Pepper are an item? I suppose that's what the old fogies would say. I don't know what the young people would call a relationship these days.
This is a family league.
It is a family league. It's we've got lots of. Speaking of which, as Queen City gets the stop there in Oklahoma City, they'll have to punt it away. We got the Thomasina Rahman. She's the younger sister of Thomas Rahman Jr., who plays corner for Las Vegas, and then the father, Tom Rahman, is the quarterback of Las Vegas. Let's see, do we have any other families out there tonight? It almost seems like we most certainly always do. Stephen Hacker and Nacho Sicario are very good friends.
The Prasads
in Queen City. Well, yeah, the Prasad brothers, they're not playing. I was trying to stay on script like they tell me in my ear, right?
It's getting clammy in here.
But good to see the Rahmans all in the chat room, and right now they are probably cheering for Oklahoma City to get a stop just before the 2-minute warning. It's 10-3. Corsairs up 7. And a nickel look for the Renegades, and the handoff goes to Willis, and that quick stop takes us to the 2-minute warning. Boy, Queen City is winning the defensive slugfest so far. They're up by 7 on the Renegades. We're back to Robbers Cave in a moment. This is the Simulation Football League, brought to you by APM Music on 11 Sports. Back here in Oklahoma City, the Simulation Football League on 11 Sports, 10-3. Queen City on top. These two teams 1-1, had a bye last week at the SFL convention in Atlanta, live and on location, hosted by the Swarm. We appreciate their hospitality. Caswell dropping back to throw, pump fake. Almost hit as he threw that pass. Oh, almost. It looked like it was going to be underthrown, and then maybe could have called a PI down the field.
Yeah, it looked that way.
As the receiver, the tight end Morris Jackson, way down the field. He almost looked lost, looked like he got pushed around.
Yeah, that was a slow play to develop, but Caswell had a ton of time in that pocket. He was able to get that ball off. He didn't really have any pressure at all.
1:55 to go in the first half. Renegades would love a stop here on 3rd down and 9, get the ball back to try to do some damage. Out to Willis. That's what scored the touchdown, but not anywhere near as much room as he had on the touchdown call, as Coach Barkley's yelling and screaming at somebody for blowing a block, and Oklahoma City's going to hold on to their 3 timeouts and try to get pretty decent field position and make something out of the last 90 seconds.
Yeah, that passing offense did not take any time off the clock, and Oklahoma City's in a great position there. Once they get the ball back, like you said, they have full timeouts, and they've got 1 minute and probably 15 seconds when they receive.
Andy Hamilton, the owner of the Vancouver Legion, says in the chat, "I'm up past my bedtime. Can I have a shout out?" You most certainly can. Shout out to Andy Hamilton, who also helps out big time with some. Morris Jackson, way down the field. He almost looked lost, looked like he got pushed around. Social media around the SFL landscape, and Finch gets the ball out to the 28. And what do you think, Charles? I'd like to see the Renegades try to sling it deep. Tiberius Bovine still does not have a single target in this game. In fact, Jackson, Bovine, and Duncan have a combined 1 target in the first half.
Yeah, that's going to have to change. I think now's the time they're going to need to have to open it up a little bit.
Split backs for Nickens. Queen City showing a blitz. They are going to come with it, and in trouble is Moses the second for a loss of 3, and that's where Nickens should have audibled out of that one.
Yeah, no sense of urgency on the Oklahoma City side. You got stuffed in the backfield, and a little scratching my head on why they didn't try and pass on that play.
Now down to 42 seconds to go. Queen City also has all 3 timeouts. Duncan's to the bottom of the screen as the Renegades try to get some offense moving. Most certainly can. Shout out to Andy Hamilton, who also helps out big time with 33 seconds to go. They're going to hand it off again.
Well,
that's Williams going nowhere, and I think we know what Oklahoma City's strategy is here at the end of the half. They've been playing turnover-free football for most of this first half, and I think they just want to take this 7-point deficit into the locker room.
Yep, that they took a lot of time off the clock by running, so that's definitely what they're doing.
Unless they're just trying to set them up.
For Bovine deep.
All right, have them fall asleep on the final play before the half. 3rd and 15. Nickens going to throw, and Nickens down the field. It's incomplete, and that stops the clock with 3 seconds left, and now they're going to have to punt. And who knows what can happen on the final play of special team. We have seen some crazy final plays in SFL history.
Yeah, that was a curious series. 3 running plays in a pass. Excuse me, 2 running plays in a pass.
Yeah, the Renegades didn't get what they wanted necessarily out of that one. They may have just not wanted to throw 3 passes in a row and give Queen City another shot. That's possible too, as the final play of the half is going to be a punt, and Queen City with Sanchez on the return not getting much, and that brings us to the end of the first half, and your only touchdown on the board is a Jared Willis reception from A.J. Caswell on a swing to the outside. Queen City trying to get above 500. They're up 7 on the road, and the 2K Sports halftime report is next. And now, for that matter, Charles Doherty alongside Cameron Irvine here on Sunday Night Football on 11 Sports. And look at those numbers. The time of possession still favoring Oklahoma City, but just 4 first downs in 11 minutes is not going to get it done.
Yeah, we've got a tale of 2 different offenses. We've got the air raid on the Queen City side, and then we've got the conservative run and dump it off offense from the Oklahoma City side. They're going to have to tweak that a little bit at halftime and come out and maybe bring in folks like Duncan and Jackson and Bovine.
I tell you what, the Renegades in the past couple of seasons have had Deezer Powell, who's now in New Orleans, and Rich Pratchard, who's now in Vancouver. And I wonder if just a little bit Oklahoma City's offense is starting to miss some of those big-time receivers who had some incredible seasons here in Renegade Red and Blue.
Well, I mean, you can also say that they've got great receivers out of the backfield. They've got a good tight end. I think they're not short on the offensive side when it comes to talented players.
Looking at Chris Curtis's numbers in that first half. By the way, Duer and Sicario lead the way with 6 tackles. But in the first half, Williams with 40 yards on 8 carries. I'd like to see a little bit more out of Williams. He ran the ball actually really well in that first half. We'll see what Oklahoma City. It's going to be a tough balance, right, Charles? Because you want to stay with that ground and pound style, but you also want to get the offense out of a little bit of a funk here.
Oh, definitely. And again, back to Williams, he's also deadly receiver as well. So I'd like to see more swing passes to him, maybe some passes in the flat. And again, also Bovine needs to be brought in as well.
So start of the second half. Here from Oklahoma City, ball from the 10-yard line, returned by Finch. Finch going to break a tackle and get it out to the 30. And we're happy all of you can join us here live on the 11 Sports family of networks as Nickens will start things off. I think this drive's going to set the tone for the third quarter.
Yes, I like your positivity.
And who knows, we might see an offensive explosion like we've seen before in some of these second halves, but Oklahoma City's just got to start stringing some first downs together first. 2 in the backfield out of the eye. Nickens going to drop the throw. Nickens has to get rid of it and got rid of it too late. Boy, he got popped.
Yep.
It did get 1 yard, so I guess it's not all bad, but Nickens, I think, was looking for something a little deeper.
I think he was torn between Moses down the middle and Williams on the side, and I think maybe a linebacker jumped in front of Moses to make him have to go to the flat to Williams, and that took too long to develop, and he didn't have a chance to really make a move once he caught the ball.
2 in the backfield, 2 receivers to the left now of Nickens. Nickens going to throw. Good protection. Nickens' pass needed a little bit more zip. Was looking for Bovine on what looked to be a crossing route coming near side, and That's going to set up a dangerous 3rd and 9. Oklahoma City started 2 for 3 on 3rd down. They have not converted their last 4.
Yeah, their first two games, they have not been lighting it up from a 3rd down conversion standpoint. They're at about 44%, which is a little bit low than what they need to be.
A receiver to either side. 7 in the box for Queen City. And they bring 4, and getting to Nickens almost immediately. Sack in the backfield at the 23-yard line, and strutting his stuff and blowing his horn is Kyrie Hasten.
Kyrie Hasten had a great game last game. He had 2 sacks. You can see his skills just busting through that lane there, and he got 1 today, and I have a feeling he's going to get a couple more before this game's over.
Hasten, the 12th pick of the rookie draft, getting a crucial sack. Oklahoma City is now 2 of 8 on 3rd down, and this will be punt number 5 upcoming for Oklahoma City. Is that right now their defense is starting to lose the field position battle just a bit from the 39-yard line. Sanchez gets about 6 on the return. Not bad. Up to Queen City's 45-yard line with 10 minutes to go. And if you're new to the SFL and want to keep up with all the action, make sure to follow us on Twitter at SimulationFL. Use the hashtag Make an Impact to spread the word. There's a look at Brady Clark in the Oklahoma City secondary. Caswell keeping the offense close to his vest. Curtis was the bright spot in the first half on either side of the ball, and the flip out to Curtis will pick up 3. Curtis in that first half had 87 yards on 6 catches, 8 targets, and there you see target number 9.
Yeah, it looks like Oklahoma City isn't really putting a lot of pressure on the quarterback, and I think that's probably by design. Talking to the coach before this game, they said maybe they over-blitzed on the last game. So we see it here. It looks like they're dropping back into defense, and it looks like Caswell's going to have a lot of time here for the play to develop and get the ball off.
2 in the backfield, 9:42 to go in the 3rd quarter. 10-3 Queen City on top of Oklahoma City. Caswell's pass is caught, waiting for Hacker to cross him, or to come across the bow of the defense in zone. Hacker gets the first down, and Queen City is nearing scoring position.
Yeah, good play there and good read by the quarterback there. Hacker had a couple steps on the cornerback. He had to get it right in there, because if he didn't, the defensive back would have knocked that ball down.
Man, Brady Clark's been a little bit late on some plays a couple of times tonight. 4 seasons, all with Oklahoma City. He's the leading veteran on this roster with Dave Drury, at least on the defensive side. Caswell, 8 targets, and there you see target number 9.
Yeah, it looks like Oklahoma City isn't really putting a lot of...
Going long down the middle.
Wow.
That's where Oklahoma City got exploited a couple of weeks ago. And Chris Curtis with his 8th grab has Queen City potentially getting a pull ahead by double digits.
Yeah, that was an all-star route and an all-star execution. Look at him go up in the air for that ball. Yeah, most receivers wouldn't be able to snag that in, but you could see the air he got. He brought it in, and now they're threatening to score.
And again, Clark on the tackle. He's racking them up here in the second half, unofficially with 4 solo, but most of that has come here in the 3rd quarter. 1st and 10 at the 15. Caswell hands it off to Willis, and Willis, I thought he was going to break away for a moment, but an excellent job coming up and sniffing that one out. Brady Clark again. Boy, who talked to him at halftime? My goodness.
Yeah, I think now's the time they may want to test the corners to see if they can take advantage of their height here in the end zone.
8:18 left. 3rd quarter. Moving along at a steady pace. Willis got a kick block, and Willis has a touchdown. Jared Willis is the star of the night, and Queen City's up 16-3.
Well, that was nothing at all what I said, but that was a great play there. Great run by Willis. Good block up the front. Up front there by the offensive line. He was able to spring outside and rush into the end zone.
Ricky Matthews will come on for the extra point, and Queen City finally has a little bit of breathing room. They've been playing in some really low-scoring ball games. Played Charleston to nearly what seemed like to be a draw almost. 17-10. Corsairs get the win in that ball game, and then they came up short an opening week against London, but it's tough to tell what your opponent's going to do an opening week, and they took that one on the chin. 17-3, 8:11 to go in the 3rd quarter. We're heading to a short break where hopefully on the other side of the break, Deacon Nickens can find some offense. You're watching the SFL presented by APM Music on 11 Sports. (17-3), Queen City on top of Oklahoma City here under the lights in Oklahoma. The Renegades not had too many primetime home games over the past few seasons. This team, sort of like Queen City, had their glory days a long time ago. Seasons 1 and Season 2, Charles, when you were just an infant. Back-to-back championship appearances, the Renegades pulled the Bills. They lost a nail-biter. This is a Season 1 championship game rematch, by the way. A nail-biter to this franchise, the Corsairs, 45-41. Then turned around the next year, lost to Orlando in the title game, 42-24. And they have not been back since and have been trying to get back there ever since. A 2-yard pickup there to Moses the second. Wow. And we've seen Williams, Moses the second, but we have just not seen Bovine, Duncan, and Jackson very much involved.
Yeah, that was an interesting play there. You had Moses in the flat and Williams on the swing. I don't know if I see that play run very often.
Duncan's at the top of the screen. Look at the amount of space Duncan has to work with if he can get open. 7.5 to go. They're going to hand it off to Moses the second, and all over it. How about the MVP of the defense tonight? Out of nowhere, Tim Jacoby is wrecking shop for the Corsairs.
Yeah, definitely. He's out of nowhere. Did not expect that, but he's holding his own, and he's keeping this offense of Oklahoma City from making first downs.
There's a look at Sicario, and the Renegades trying to avoid going 3 and out here to start the drive. Nickens going long, wide open, past the 40, in a foot race 30, breaking a tackle 10, down to the 8-yard line for a first down, Oklahoma City. That's got to be more yards they've had in the last 15 minutes, and that's Bovine down the field.
There's Bovine. Hey, he's my favorite tight end in the league. He's not your prototype in terms of height and weight, one of the smaller and lighter, tight ends. But right there, he grabbed that, and nobody was going to strip that ball. You see him holding that ball? It was like he's taking eggs to mama. There's no way he's taking that away from him.
Yeah, he was making sure that nothing negative happened at the end of that play, because finally they were able to get a look that they liked, and the Renegades are back in business. Down 14, nearing the halfway point of the third quarter, and Williams is in the backfield, has had a quiet third. He'll take the handoff, stretch running right, got a block on the outside by Duncan, and slips inside and nearly scored. Tremendous blocking on the outside by Devonta Duncan, and Williams is up to 48 yards.
Yeah, he's having a great game so far, and this is going to be hard for Queen City to pick, because do you guard Williams with a run or Noah, or do you wait for Bovine maybe across the flat?
Wow, Tanner Hendricks was locked up by Duncan on the outside. That was impressive. Duncan 6'2", 205. Split backs in the backfield for Oklahoma City, trying to get in the end zone, and that's a touchdown for the Renegades. And Jason Williams in for 6.
The offensive line just totally blew up the defensive line of Queen City. He ran in untouched in the end zone. You see here on the replay, he had at least 3 yards before anyone was near him.
Yeah, that was a bit too easy. All you got to do on the goal line is win the back. Renegades are back in business. Down 14, nearing the halfway point of the third quarter. Battle in the trenches, and everything else for Williams is easy. And what an answer by Oklahoma City on the long bomb on third down to Bovine. Their 9th third down attempt of the night, and their first third down conversion since late in the first quarter, as the extra point for Renegade kicker Johnny Omega is good. And with 6:03 to go in the third quarter, we got a ball game again, 17-10. You're watching the SFL on 11 Sports. We're presented by APM Music. We'll be back in a moment. If you're just joining us, the Oklahoma City Renegades got their first touchdown of the night on the last drive, a Jason Williams touchdown. In fact, only running backs tonight have had touchdowns in this ball game as Sanchez returns it out past the 30. And Charles, if you're new to the Simulation Football League, it's like fantasy football, esports, pro football, and virtual reality all had some sort of crazy baby, and here we are with a product that's coming on 1,000 games strong.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity. If you love football, I mean, this is the place to be. I mean, you can totally immerse yourself in this league.
A 9-yard pickup for Matthew Jr. Caswell, that puts him over the double century mark at 202. And for you, Charles, you joined the broadcast team. What was it? Just last season?
Yeah, about midway through.
And here you are on TV in prime time with your humble commissioner.
Very humble.
We love having you here at headquarters. Was that? Were you patronizing me? What was that? Second and 1 at the 38. Handoff Willis. Oh, Willis speared at the line of scrimmage. A beautiful form tackle by John Gregory. You cannot make an open field tackle better than that.
Yeah, he blew through the line there, and the running back had no chance whatsoever. Great speed and great ability to read the play.
So a third down and short, 2 for 6 on third downs for Queen City. Both teams have 40 plays tonight exactly. Offense. Oh, and Oklahoma City jumped unless he was baited. But looked like he came right over the center, and that is a mental mistake for the Renegades. Dante Akobe, almost bowled the center right over.
Yeah, they had him, I think. I mean, the momentum was on the defense side, but this could potentially pop the balloon on this series.
Man, tough to get penalties at home, too. Got your home crowd behind you, and Akobe got a little bit too big for the moment there, or a little too small, depending upon how you look at it. Curtis is at the bottom of the screen. He's been a little quiet in the third. Hacker with some press coverage up top. They run slants. Oh, how was that caught at the 41-yard line? Man, his hands are like attached to giant noodles. Matthew Jr. goes up and gets another one.
He's a beast. I mean, I remember watching a couple games at the beginning of the season. I was just amazed how everything thrown to him, it's like glue.
He mossed Dave Drury. I mean, that's a moss by a tight end if I've ever seen one before.
Yeah, what would you do if a 6'7", 265-pound specimen was running straight at you?
I'd just phone it in, man. I'd go back to the sideline and say, I wasn't supposed to play. Was I supposed to play? First and 10 at the 41 of the Renegades. Caswell stepping up slightly in the pocket, nearly threw an interception. Oh, you got to take advantage of those opportunities. He hasn't thrown many that are pickable tonight. Joshua Dewar, that'll just go down as a pass deflection.
Yeah, and definitely, Cam. They need to make the best out of these opportunities because you never know when it's going to happen again. If they would have got the ball back the last time they had the ball, they did a very good they showed the ability to drive down, and this was very unfortunate.
That was Matthews Jr. again. Man, Queen City does such a great job getting the tight end involved. It's actually one of the most critical skills of our competitive esport coaches, trying to get their stars heavily involved on both sides of the ball in the game plan, and Matthew Jr. has been all over this game plan tonight as Caswell drops to throw, fires outside to Willis inside the 40. Willis gets cracked at the 36. Cracked lip, whatever you want to say, Dewar with the vicious hit.
You may have heard us up in the booth there talking about that missed opportunity. Man, he laid that receiver out.
Yeah, he looked a bit frustrated by how we were calling him out. But, wow, 3rd and 5, thanks to that great hit by Dewar. One receiver to either side. Caswell facing some pressure. Pass is caught, ruled short of the first down. Hacker very close to the sticks. He's talking to Coach Barkley right now, probably about, hey, you should throw that challenge flag.
Yeah, it looked like about 99.9% of his body was on the other side of the chains.
And right now, the kicker's out to attempt. They're not even going to try to go for it. No, they are going to try to go for it here on 4th and inches with 3:12 to go. And right now, it looks like Oklahoma City's trying to sell out for that run. They got nobody on Matthew Jr. on the line. He's standing there all alone, and Oklahoma City calls the Corsairs bluff as Queen City will take a timeout. And I think going back to, remember that 2nd and 1 play, they handed off to Willis, and Willis got creamed by Gregory right at the line of scrimmage. It was probably in the Corsairs' head when they saw those 7 in the box right there.
There was pain waiting at the line.
It looked like it seriously might have hurt, although they only needed inches. So now a lot of pressure rests on the leg of Ricky Matthews here, because if he misses this, it's going to give Oklahoma City the ball at their own 38-yard line with excellent field position. Matthews, a solid veteran kicker from 48 yards away, right-footed kicker from right in between the hash marks, nearly blocked. The kick is nailed from 48 yards away. Matthews puts it through. It's 20-10. Queen City up 10. And we'll find out next what Oklahoma City can do to counter. They scored a touchdown on their last drive. What can they do after the break? Find out next here on 11 Sports. With 2:58 to go in the third quarter, alongside Charles Doherty and Cameron Irvine, it's 20-10. Queen City with the 10. Right-footed kicker from right in between the hash marks, nearly blocked the 10-point lead thanks to the clutch right leg of one Ricky Matthews, a 48-yard field goal on that other side of the break, and Finch has had really no room to find any sort of return yardage anywhere past the 30. And it's back on the shoulders of Nickens and Bovine. By the way, that Bovine catch went for 62 yards, and that is his only catch of the night.
Yeah, well, they showed they have the talent and the firepower on the offense. Let's just see if they use them on this drive.
Seven in the box for Queen City. Now Nickens is going to change the play. Let's see what his audible skills are tonight. Nickens going to hand it off up the middle, and that did not work. Moses the second, no gain. Moses had a couple of really nice runs in the first half, but Queen City has really sniffed out that inside run here in the third quarter.
Yeah, they're expecting it. The yards per carry have definitely gone down in the second half. I think we're looking up around 8 at the first half, and now it's down to 5, maybe 5 per carry or 4.
Yeah, and especially for Moses, just 9 yards on 6 carries. Williams is helping balance out the average of the two combined. Pass over the nice play, but then juking the wrong way was Ermac Jackson. If he would have just cut it up the field, it looks like he had all sorts of space, but that'll set up the 10th third down for Oklahoma City tonight.
Yeah, 3rd and 6, but, I think the good thing is they threw to Jackson. That helps they put the defense on their heels and not knowing where the ball's going to go.
Yeah, you got to mix it up now. Duncan, Jackson, and Bovine all with 2 targets each. Nickens with split backs on a 3rd down and 6. Takes 3-step drop in trouble. Nickens gets away, throws it down the field, and the pass is incomplete. How in the world
I was about to say, oh, bad pass protection.
My gosh.
Oh, my gosh.
And the fact, if he would have put a little more air under that, that was a touchdown because that defender came up. I think he thought the play was over. There was a defender down the field, but unfortunately Nickens underthrew him, and the Penn and Teller
Houdini.
The Penn and Teller experiment
wow.
ends in an incomplete pass for Nickens. That's a shame because that definitely would have made a SportsCenter top 10 if he would have been able to deliver a touchdown on that one. And instead, the Renegades will just have to punt it away, and their defense needs to help make a stop.
See, that just shows our age gap, Cam. I go Houdini and you go Penn Teller.
Houdini was probably better, but I just didn't. Is Houdini alive anymore?
I didn't think you knew who Houdini was.
I knew who Houdini was.
You had that clammy look on your face.
Setting a record for the number of times clammy has been mentioned on SFL. It's always a different word every night. 1:41 to go in the third. 1st and 10 at the 36. Caswell going down the middle. Oh, it's caught past midfield to the 47-yard line of the Renegades. And what do you know? It's Hacker up the middle. Stephen Hacker has caught fire in the third quarter, and Caswell's now approaching 300.
Yeah, it looks like Caswell's starting to spread it around and bringing Hacker in there now. He's been targeted 4 times, most of that in the second half. And now you've got 3 catches for 45. That's what you need.
Great shout out by Hamilton in the chat. You and Charles are so good together, speaking to me and Charles. So glad Charles got into the booth, because this is exciting to watch with you both. Well, it's exciting to watch with all of you at home in the chat, and all of you not in the chat right now, watching through wherever you watch and consume your 11 Sports. Matthew Jr. with another catch and a wave to the chat and all the people at home as the Cam makes a triumphant return.
Yeah, it looks on the like on those last couple plays that middle zone was wide open.
So 1st and 10 at the 37. That middle zone was the Achilles heel for Oklahoma City in a couple of weeks ago against Chicago. This is Willis breaking a tackle. Willis fighting for extra yards, gets 6 down to the 31-yard line, back into field goal range as Oklahoma City is desperate at this point for a turnover. No turnovers tonight for Queen City. They've kept a clean sheet.
Yeah, they're taking a page from the Oklahoma City offense. They're mixing it up there. That was some smart play calling, and now Oklahoma City's trying to figure out where the ball's going next.
8 catches for 115 yards for Curtis. The handoff to Willis. Fighting and got it for the first down to the 27, and that's the final play of the third quarter. What an effort from Willis as we head to break. 20-10, Queen City up on Oklahoma City. Put your 4s up in the chat. Let's go. 11 minutes left. We're back in a moment. The Simulation Football League, presented by APM Music on 11 Sports, is also brought to you in part by Nation's Best, helping athletes around the world. Hashtag secure the bag. By ScoreStream, the official live scoring app of the SFL. By Sector 6, the SFL's official merchandise provider, and by Spy Goats, the premium craft and audio. Aerial shots of this great Oklahoma City brought to you by Air Views. And by the way, tonight on camera, wearing some Sector 6 gear right now. It's got my name on the back. Our shop is on our website at simulationfl.net, and we've got a bunch of teams in there as well, getting their gear all situated. Charles, you're on Vancouver, and y'all's store has launched, and there are
I have a jersey in the mail.
Oh, jersey in the mail. Did you get your name on the back?
I did. I definitely did.
Which name, though?
My player name.
Okay,
My
all right, that's
name.
the key. You can. There's a lot of different personas.
There's not enough room on the back for my real name.
2nd and 6 at the 23-yard line. 10.5 to go in the fourth quarter. Handoff to Willis. Willis runs right into the teeth of the Renegades defense. I'm not even sure that he saw Rahman coming from the top of the screen because he ran right into her.
Yeah, definitely. But we can't forget that run right before the break that Willis had. Yeah, he showed a lot of effort in getting that first down. I didn't think he was going to get it, but you saw his legs churning, and he showed a lot of determination.
That's a beautiful memory you got there, because it could have been easy to forget at the end of the quarter, but it was a tremendous run to keep the drive alive. This pass to the far sideline over to the Queen City sideline is caught by Curtis, but it's short of the first down, and that's critical, Charles, because that keeps it a 2-score game whether Matthews hits this field goal or not.
Yeah, that was not the best route to run on this, leaving it short. I mean, it always scratched my head on why you would send a wide receiver short of the chains.
I think Curtis saw some sort of butterfly on the sideline, and he may have gotten distracted. Curtis is a kind soul. He's a very good person.
I wasn't saying anything against him.
36 yards away. That kick is good. Shout out to Chris Curtis. If he's not in the chat right now, he'll be listening on demand intently to see how his team is doing. Matthews hits the field goal, and that field goal is good. So it's 23-10. It's a 13-point ball game. A little bit of a screwball there that nearly fell through the left upright.
I want to give a shout out to the stats team. They're Mr. Hacker there is doing a great job, and love having a stats guy in here. It makes the game so much funner to do, and also it's great having that information available.
Mark Lopez, head of stats. If you want to be a part of the broadcast team, be a player on the field, be a scout for a team, watch some film, become a coach one day, even own your own team, visit simulationfl.net and join our community. We'd love to have you and get to know you, and I will definitely be popping in later tonight to say a hearty hello and welcome to all of the newcomers into our league. And honestly, I just can't wait until you get on the field. You know, I love making players superstars. That's what we do around here. 3 receivers. Nickens under center. He needs another big strike that he had to Bovine. This is Moses the second. That's not going to get it done for 2, but if he would have gotten away from it, he had some room to run.
Yeah, he would have gotten a chunk of yards there. But this is a big series for Oklahoma City. They definitely have to respond. The clock is ticking.
As Berman would say, tick, 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 tick. 9-10 to go in the fourth. 2nd and 8 at the 28. Oklahoma City down a couple of scores, but the game's certainly still well within reach. 7 in the box for Queen City. Dropping to throw is Nickens. Nickens in some trouble, steps up in the pocket, checks it down. One man to beat on the sideline. Own team is at simulationfl.net and join our community. We'd love to not do it, but at least falling forward was Moses the second. Yet another reception for Moses the second tonight. And once again, Nickens gets out of trouble and gives the Renegades a manageable 3rd down.
Yeah, that was a KG veteran quarterback move, and also you got to give some credit to Moses for being disciplined and staying in his route.
Great point. Threes across the board. Nickens, quick slant. No interference? What was that?
Wow.
Duncan completely knocked off his route tree. That, I don't know what that was, Charles, but there should have been some sort of illegal contact, something down the field. That was a bad call.
Yeah, I think it was James Budden on the Queen City side that was hanging all over him. Surprised there wasn't a flag on that one.
Wow, that's a tough break for Oklahoma City, because now there is literally no room for error defensively Defense has played well, giving up just 23 points. High snap on that punt. And from the 32-yard line, Sanchez, not a lot of holes, picks up 3 to the 35. 8:21 to go in the fourth quarter, and we remind you that coming up tomorrow night, we've got 3 games, all starting at 5 o'clock. Baltimore, Vancouver, New Orleans, and Carolina, a pair. And then tomorrow night at 7:30, it's the You Vote Fan Night Game of the week. And this week, the Tallahassee Pride and Denver Nightwings, 2-2-1 teams that have played the defending champions tough, will be on center stage from Richard L. Snowden Memorial Stadium, and that is going to be a doozy as Willis collects that for 4.
Yeah, the up through the first 3.5 quarters here, it looks like Oklahoma City hasn't been blitzing a lot. I think they may need to rethink that strategy here in the fourth quarter. They need to make some big plays here to get the ball back quickly.
Yeah, high risk, high reward at this point, right, Charles? The time is not on the Renegades' side. They've got 7 in the box and a 3-4 look right now. Split backs, handoff to Willis, and Willis gets just 1, but it does run the clock. Willis just 40 yards on 17 carries, but has 2 touchdowns tonight.
Yeah, I mean he's playing a key role on the offensive game plan. He's giving them options and making Oklahoma City have to guess where the next ball is going.
Gregory on that last stop. 7:25 to go in the fourth. Caswell going to throw on third down. Boy, where have we seen this before? Willis left all alone. That is inexcusable out of the Renegades defense. You can't leave anybody that wide open.
Yeah, I'm amazed that once he catches the ball, how much ground he makes up. It's slow to develop, but once he gets that ball, I'll go back to the 7th gear reference. He hits that gear and he's just off.
Well, and even from the start, he understood the angle. He was taking the angle that would net him the most yards. Really nice vision in the open field there by Willis. And the hometown fans are getting a little restless here. 7:05 to go. Caswell hit as he threw and actually won't get rid of it. A loss of 3 yards on the play. Just the second sack of the night for Oklahoma City. And once again, that's Matt Stratton in the backfield for the loss.
That's what they need to do. They got to put pressure on him and bring him down. Caswell's had way too much time in the pocket.
3 wide for A.J. Caswell. Look at there is nobody back for Oklahoma City. Caswell.
They're sending it.
Hit as he threw. The pass is caught. 20, 15, 10. It's a touchdown for Queen City. All or nothing proves to be nothing. And Stephen Hacker gets the score.
Well, they made him pay on that play, but they had to do it eventually. But just shows you what kind of quarterback Caswell was.
What a move. Double move by
That's
Hacker.
amazing.
He fooled everybody. That was one of the best routes of the weekend.
Yeah, that was a big play and really puts Oklahoma City back.
Hacker stopped. He stopped right where the last defender, the last line of defense was, and then just took off running.
Also, a lot of poise by Caswell to be able to get that ball out. He was getting hit by all sides,
Great
and he was
point.
able to hit it right where he needed to.
I don't know how he saw. I don't know if that was designed from Stephen Hacker or was an improvisation down the field. But at any rate, Queen City now up 30-10. The game getting away from Oklahoma City. Desperation mode here with 6.5 to go in the fourth quarter. We're back in a moment. Here in Robbers Cave in Oklahoma City, and you hate to see games like this, Charles, that are getting away from the Renegades. This was a 17-10 ball game, and Queen City has scored 13 unanswered points to go up by 20. Oklahoma City needs a score in the next 60 or so seconds to give themselves a good shot.
Yeah, and I believe that Williams needs to have his name all over the next drive.
Yeah, it's going to be. And this has been the tough situation that Oklahoma City's been in the last 2 weeks because they're having a hard time running their offense being down, right? This team is going to be scary if they can get ahead. Moses the second picks up 6, but how much longer can the Renegades continue to stay conservative here as the clock continues to wind?
Well, I mean, maybe if they went to a hurry up, they might be able to get a lot of yardage here, keeping the wrong personnel on the field. But they're missing out on throwing it to Williams. I mean, he's a dangerous threat coming out of the backfield.
2nd down and 4 for Oklahoma City. Now under 6 to go in the 4th. Nickens sending everyone. There you go, listening to you. Williams to the outside, breaks a tackle, gets a first down to the 43, but did not get out of bounds. But still, that's exactly what you're talking about, Charles.
Yep, get up to the line though. I mean, sense of urgency here. We got to get a quick score and get the ball back.
I can't believe Williams didn't go out of bounds here. How's that even possible? That's a tightrope job that's not necessarily netting him any favors. 5.5 left in the 4th quarter. Charles Doherty and Cameron Irvine here in the broadcast booth from SFL headquarters. 30-10, Queen City on top. These two teams have a combined 26 seasons between them, and just the 9th meeting between these two teams. Pretty surprising in the rematch of the Season 1 title game.
It's an interesting point here. I would never have guessed that they would have been throwing to Moses more than Williams. He's got 5 receptions to 4.
But at least you can't say Moses has not been involved. Moses has been integral in this offense tonight. Nickens fires down the field, caught in triple coverage down to the 36-yard line of Queen City. What a gutsy conversion. That was Jackson with easily his best catch down to the 43, but did not get out of bounds. But still, that's exactly what you're talking about, Charles.
Yep, get up to the line, though. I mean,
tonight in his 2nd overall. Here's Nickens again facing heat, and Nickens goes down. Queen City goes all or nothing and gets the all. Quickly to the line, 4.5 to go. Duncan at the bottom of the screen, and now Nickens is outside of scoring position again. Dumps it off short to get some yardage back, and Duncan picks up 4.
Yeah, maybe they'll catch him off balance here on this play.
In the 4th quarter, Charles Doherty and Cameron Irvine here in the broadcast booth from SFL headquarters. 3rd and 13 out of the split. Nickens again against a heavy pressure, and Nickens goes down, and the blitz has paid off in a big way for Queen City's defensive unit that includes the likes of Sicario, Frank, Hendricks, Raines. We haven't mentioned a lot of their names specifically tonight. It has been a collective effort, and that was Jeff Duffy on the sack.
Yeah, back to the comment at the beginning of the game. Duffy and Hassan are bookends there, bud. Duffy has his 2nd sack. Hansen has his 1st. They're causing havoc there on the corners.
Well, this is it. 4th and 20, going long. One-on-one coverage. The pass is tipped up and incomplete. Excellent coverage down the field as Jackson was the intended target for just the 5th time tonight. Pharaoh Raines gets his hands on that one. This is beautiful.
Yeah, there are 2 guys down there that are waiting for the pass. It's a hard hole for Oklahoma City to dig out of, and to your point earlier, I don't think they're equipped to have that quick strike offense.
Well, unless Queen City has at least they didn't check it down for 6 yards, right? At least Oklahoma City had the presence of mind to make the right play call there. But Queen City well defended, and Oklahoma City now is starting to lose focus a bit as Willis gets away, and Willis is trying to put an exclamation point on the ball game. Gets all the way down to the 20-yard line. They'll decline the penalty, and Willis is up maybe over 100 yards with that run, but definitely over 75 with a pickup of 40+.
Yeah, that was a big run, but also a touchdown-saving tackle there by Gregory. He caught up to him and showed some speed, but Willis has really been, I think his yards per carry are well, actually, I got to see the number here, but I think they're much higher than they've been to date.
You could feel the air in this building, Charles, just get sucked out on that 4th and 20. And then you got the offsides penalty, and then Jared Willis busted out for a big run, and you can tell that the Renegades, after that last possession, have City heading into Week 5. Both of these teams with early buys in their schedule, and the handoff goes to Willis, and Willis breaks a tackle inside the 10 down all the way to the 4-yard line, and Willis has saved his best for last. going for his third touchdown of the night.
Yeah, those are two big runs back to back, and again, they're really taking the will out of Oklahoma City defense.
That's a great way to phrase it. Look at that block there by the fullback. That is Hadley Diamante, and he's been just a savvy veteran on this Queen City in this Queen City backfield for many, many seasons now. And for Queen City, they're going to improve to 2-1. Their only loss being at the beginning of the season against London, who's now 3-1 after their 16-point comeback today against Houston earlier in the action today on 11 Sports. And their only loss was a game they threw away in Las Vegas, essentially, because they were cruising in that game, up 17-0.
Yeah, they've got Queen City has a big game next week. They're going up against Alaska, I believe, and Alaska with 2 losses.
Yeah,
I don't know if I want to have to go up against Alaska.
That's right, 2 in a row for the defending champs. How about that? They got, not just to put it bluntly, they got waxed today in Mexico City. That was an eye-opening performance there by Ramos Lynn, Matt Wilson, Ray Bentley, Stephen Mullinex, and the rest of that Mexico City Aztec crew. Laying the wood on the 3-time defending champs who are now 2-2. Willis going to take the handoff here, and that is going to roll us to the 2-minute warning. Well, Queen City did what they had to do in the fourth quarter. They have owned the fourth and the second half, for that matter. 30-10, Queen City's up. We're back in 30. Two minutes left here in the fourth. Queen City's trying to put the final exclamation point on a very solid road win here in Oklahoma City, and the Renegades will be playing behind the 8 ball once more here to start the season at 1-2. The backups are now in for the Corsairs, and a quick timeout for Oklahoma City just to save face and trying to get some garbage time points. And Ricky Matthews will have another opportunity to field goal. Cole Irvine on the tackle.
Not unless he grabs his helmet. I saw him run down there without his helmet on.
That's very true. Who's the commissioner of this league? The safety regulations need to be in place. But to that point, Charles, that's one of the best things about this league. There's no CTE. There's no getting hurt and medical insurance and all that. This is about the safest football you can get.
And you don't have to sweat too much either.
And you don't have to sweat too much. I mean, I don't think that's the athlete's fear,
but hey, it's hot here in Texas.
It really is, and it's hot in Oklahoma City too. We had a little bit of rain, this morning. Thought we might get a little bit of rain tonight, but it has been smoking hot. We go all around the country to these games. We've been to Canada so far. We were in Baltimore, Maryland last week. Now we're here tonight in Oklahoma City, and we get really the tour of the land of the SFL. And unfortunately, we can't visit every city every year, but it's nice coming to new places. And it's been a while since we've called a game from Oklahoma City. But unfortunately, the Renegades just let this one get away. They were right. This league, the safety regulations need to be in place. But to that point, there.
Yeah, they were. But it's hard to, Queen City really kind of erupted from an offensive standpoint, and I think they would have been able to put points up of most of the defenses in the league the way they were playing.
Out of the gun is Nickens against what is likely lots of backups out there for Queen City as everybody getting some reps. That pass caught quickly by Jackson. He's had a more active second half, but still Bovine incredibly quiet tonight with the 3 targets and 2 catches down the field, and tremendous coverage that time from number 21, Orlando Martell. I told you the backups were in, getting some love.
I need to scroll down.
Yeah, right. We gotta turn the pages of the depth chart to find. And I tell you what, shout out to Mike Dagg. This is a very detailed production. We've got Mike Daggs, our director of broadcasting, Andy Hamilton, director of social media. I am your humble executive producer of the SFL as that pass is all the way down inside midfield, down to the 46. You got Jermaine Smith, who is the league president and really kind of director of ops. Andrew Rastelli is the director of player personnel. Ryan Karpinski assists him. There are so many people involved in the SFL, and we would not be here today without their tremendous efforts. So hats off to you all officially here before we get off the broadcast. Nickens facing an insane amount of pressure as that pass a little bit behind the intended receiver. Well, Charles, I got a riddle for you a little bit.
Oh, dear.
Tulsa beat St. Louis today 26-10. They got their first win of the season. Mexico City gets a pretty convincing win over Alaska 31-13. London takes it to Houston in the second half. They were down 30-14. London outscored Houston 24-3 in the fourth quarter of that game. And then here, our game tonight, 33-10, Queen City. Lots of great action around the league in the SFL. What stood out to you?
Well, there's a lot of parity in this league. I mean, there's every game, you go in there thinking that something's going to happen one way. Like, for instance, when I turned on the London game, I was shocked. Houston really lit it up, and then I thought it was it was over. I actually wound up going to another game, and lo and behold, London comes from behind and wins. Unbelievable.
Jeff Duffy, I have to point out. Did you see that hit he put on Nick?
I was answering your riddle.
Duffy, no, hey, that's okay. That's all right. We're all just trying to get by. Duffy has had a great night tonight. And back to the earlier games, Tulsa, Ghibli-Doo.
I know.
Oh, that pass is caught. Hold on. Hold the phone. It's a touchdown.
There you go.
For Tiberius Bovine. And a nice corner route inside, and the official even took a spill.
Was that 62 that got plowed?
No, poor umpire,
poor
43.
fella.
He's not as famous as our 62 around these parts, but nice catch by Bovine, and that makes it a more respectable two-score game. But anyway, as we were talking about earlier action, Ghibli-Doo had 6 sacks today. 6 for Tulsa, including a safety. Yeah. How often do you get 6 sacks and a safety? Shout out to Ghibli-Doo. He's in line for Player of the Week.
I want to do a Tulsa game just so I can say his name.
Yeah, it's a tough name to not be very cheerful about when he makes a play, right?
Yep.
It's just a very cheerful name. Extra point is good. It's a 2-score ball game, but Oklahoma City's going to need an onside kick recovery and much more here with 49 seconds left. Second, inside the 10, and a score for Oklahoma City, so they do end up getting in the fourth quarter. Cameron Irvine, Charles Doherty, if you like what you heard and like what you saw tonight, make sure to tune into 11 Sports tomorrow night. A pair of games airing on the networks, including the game of the week at 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern, Tallahassee and Denver. As that onside kick is bobbing around and recovered by, I think, Queen City. That was
close.
That was close. That was tough to tell who got their paws on that. And it does look like Queen City got it. Boy, that was not a bad onside kick from the Renegades. But
a little bit of excitement there.
A little bit.
Before the gun goes off.
A little bit. Sometimes us broadcasters bite off a little more than we could chew. Things can turn on a dime in this league as Oklahoma City takes their last time out. And that's going to do it for the Renegades tonight.
Yeah, big game by A.J. Caswell. Looks like he's 323 yards and 2 touchdowns, no interceptions by either quarterback.
That is really surprising. I thought Nickens had one earlier, but I think you're right. A clean sheet, both sides. That is very unusual. So a tip of the cap to Deacon Nickens and A.J. Caswell for keeping clean sheets. Caswell's actually going to finish with a 127 rating. He came on late, Charles, but 26 of 33, 323 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no picks. He might be the player of the game.
He's my vote for the player of the game, and he really exploded in the second half. Remember talking at the end of the first half like, well, or it's probably going to jump into gear here in the second half, and they did.
The backup is Max Barney, and actually a rare appearance by a backup in a first half of an SFL game today. I don't know if you saw Rob Roby actually got hurt
injured, right? Yeah.
in the second quarter. Mike, as they call him, Fats Johnson, got in there.
That sounds like a pool player.
And sounds like a pool. Disrupted Rob Roby and knocked him out for half a quarter or so. As the two legendary coaches, Michael Irvine and Eric Barkley, shake hands. The final 33-17, Queen City takes out Oklahoma City. As we get the final numbers here, 409 to 295, clean sheet either side. It's hard to pinpoint the difference in this game, Charles. What would you say the difference was?
The difference was the Queen City offense. I mean, they really kicked it into high gear in the second half. And I would also add that Houston didn't adjust. At the beginning of the game, and it was actually the coach told me before the game they weren't going to blitz as much, and they didn't, and I think they paid the price.
Well, I think the one time where it made sense, that all or nothing play, that really changed the game. That put the game out of reach. Hacker with that double move against that blitz, and when you've got an offense, Oklahoma City's got an interesting challenge here, because when you've got an offense that's a little bit more built on the conservative side, but strongly built on the conservative side, you just can't give up big plays.
Well,
you can't get down.
Jeff, I think they learned what they need to do to tweak for the future games. I think they've got a schedule where I would predict they could probably win the next 2 or 3 games. And so they'll still be in the hunt, and I think they've got stars on their team. They can maybe tweak the plan around a little bit, but they have all the tools in place, I believe.
Looking back at that Caswell throw, he was falling down face first.
Yep.
That's going to be a great picture in postgame. Hacker and Curtis almost. Hacker had 101 yards. Curtis had 97. Bovine had 115, but almost a pair of offensive firepower.
And
for
Hacker had a
Queen
great
City.
second half, too. I mean, Curtis was the man the first half, and he quieted down a little bit because, Caswell was spreading the ball around.
There was a focus for sure. Brady Clark, we mentioned his name a bunch in the third quarter. He ends up with 10 solo tackles. That led the way. Jeff Duffy had 3 sacks tonight. That led all defensive players. And in the end, Queen City improves to 2-1, and the 4-time champions are looking mighty good in the beginning of the season, with their only loss coming to a